Morning, morning everybody. Hope you're well. Morning Silver, morning Steven. Let me know whoever else is here. Happy Friday. I don't know about you guys, but I'm kind of glad this weekend's coming to an end, to be honest with you. A nice little weekend away from the markets. Another refresh to come back on Monday. It's something I certainly like to do when markets aren't really cooperating with me or let's say resonating with me in my personal strategy. I don't want to go and say keep blaming the markets. That sounds like a very outward. It's not really how I want to be able to think. You know, I'm not picking the right trades right now, and it's another opportunity to improve. But again, I know that in these conditions with the lack of follow through, USD CAD yesterday, the trade that I took is a prime example of that. Which may be retesting right now, but as I said, I was happy to reduce my risk. I got out here for about negative $500, which the normal risk is 3,200, so very minimal. I'm still looking at this for a retest on USD CAD, but in terms of a breakout, you know, I just want this to move. You know, when I take the break, which I did here, you just kind of want it to go. In which case, if it does retest, yeah, I can look at it again for a catalyst to entry in here. Remember, for my breakout retest on the 4 hour, I sell the candle. I don't sell the previous swing like my 30-minute or 1 hour. But yeah, I wanted that. It was going quite well. And then, again, we're coming up for a retest for potentially movement DAC. But yeah, I just want that. That's all I need. One of them, get me back up into the 160s. And I'm a bit more comfortable with that. Morning, Pankaj. Hope you're well. GJ moved a bit yesterday, Pankaj. I think. I don't know what it's doing right now. But it did have a breakthrough. This is actually on my list, I think. Is it? Yeah, GJ's on my list. So we did have a decent breakthrough B wave on GJ. Here. Up to that area, we do have quite a bit of resistance to price, obviously being counter trend, being that 200, being that resistance zone. I'd like to see this accumulate a little bit more here, a bit of accumulation here for a break to the upside. That would be quite nice. Taking the context from here, obviously we have our ABC pullback, creating our first structure. So if I zoom in here, this is what I am looking at, and I'll show you my context. So we've got our first structure that includes that ABC from that latest impulse. Relatively healthy. Pushed up to that area, tagged that area, coming back down to possibly create second structure, which could involve a aggressive entry in here. But that would need to come down a little bit more for me to potentially be interested in that. Push on, and obviously looking for a break to the upside. Now, it is a counter trend idea, GJ, because obviously it's counter trend, right? But you've got that reason to enter with that weekly outside bullish engulfer. You can look at the daily as well within your head and shoulders. Albeit it is, I mean, that's not actually technically head and shoulders. You can look at it there. Albeit that daily is relatively messy. But again, from a trend continuation point of view, it's not really price action you want to see for another leg to the downside. And we do have markets, the S&P, pushing relatively well. So the idea of buying GJ, yen weakening off, if that sets up possibly for next week, I would like that as a counter trend play in GJ. Yes, sir. I'm not a sir. You don't have to say sir, Pankaj. Just call me Ryan. I'm out of GJ and buying at 169.5. Oh, you never hold. Okay. Well, as long as that fits your plan. You long pound dollar, buy pound dollar, and sell USD CAD. Yeah, I would agree with that. Martin, morning, pal. I left work early. Good. Driving home listening to the stream. Good to see you, buddy. Drive safer. Hello, Ash. No worries, mate. Back of the class. Back of the class, Ash. You're late. Okay, S&P. Let's look at the S&P. So we have got that breakthrough. Decent daily close yesterday. I don't mind this. I have to say, I don't mind this. I don't mind this at all. So, again, an interesting Interesting day. We have seen the Omar, morning, buddy. Hope you're well. Good to see you back. We have had a lack of follow through in most of the market, so what we want to see is a real push on or a little retest, but we don't want this to fake out and come back down. We certainly want price to move up into probably this area. This is pretty key for me. I'd say this is very key for me. If we can get a breakthrough, the stock market looks good. And whether that goes over into the risk on, risk off currency pairs, which we've seen Aussie being relatively strong. We're kind of seeing yen weaking off. US dollar will go into that as well. Swiss as well weakening off against that. We're getting a little bit of that nice movement we like to see. And if we can get that stocks pushing up here, I think, this, I don't want to put my eat my hat because I'm saying this, but a decent break above here, maybe this is where markets could start to turn and be a little less flip-floppy and a bit more of some flowing movements. So yeah, I don't mind where it is. It's still slight risk on for me. I'm not going to go full-blown risk on until I'm much more comfortable from a longer term perspective where we are with price action, but it doesn't look too bad. It doesn't look too bad. The dollar, however, is, I would say, a little bit different. I still like the short bias. I do still like the short bias. But it's whether we get some pullback strength coming into it around this area. You look at that as a V reversal. So if I'm looking on any other chart, right? Let's say I'm looking, this is whatever it is. If that's my initial structure of V reversal, I'll be looking for something like this to kind of go down. Now that obviously means we're talking about a few weeks of USD strength. If that means that is, then it is what it is. But we could get some reactionary. We could be just getting it today. If we do break through, okay, fine. The US dollar short play still rings true. But certainly a break underneath this area on the 4 hour on smaller time frames, maybe that would negate that bias of pullback strength, and we just continue on, and the US dollar continues to kind of fall to the downside. So daily 4 hour, every time frame below the weekly looks good for me for dollar shorts still. If we come up and we break this area, then okay, maybe it might look a little bit different for possible short-term upside, but this is probably the two areas we've got to be looking at for dollar strength, intermediate dollar strength, or continued dollar weakness. If I had to give my bias, am I seeing enough here on the weekly and daily to say be wary of dollar strength? Not yet. So bias would still be, I think it does break, whether it breaks today, whether it breaks next week, I think it does. But yeah, nothing there massively worrying me about going against the dollar, buying up that dollar just yet. What's your thoughts? You agree with that? You disagree? Some people may completely disagree with me. Probably more fundamental side. Well, maybe more fundamental side, but let me know if you agree. So USD CAD I talked about in terms of that short on the 4 hour. I'll be looking at that today. I do need a minimum of 5 candles for my retest. 5 to 15 is my rule, so we're kind of getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, maybe something for US session if we get a nice catalyst. Still like it short. But again, retesting phase. Let the market tell me that it wants to go down rather than just predicting and selling at this support area, which I think over the long term doesn't work as well as waiting for the market to tell you. And USD ZAR, this is, again, I'm contradicting myself with USD ZAR here. However, potentially, if that dollar decides to get some strength, we can see our structure on this 30-minute 1 hour. We've got our ABC pullback here, so ABC. And structure is taking place at B wave, which is my favorite place to take that structure. Breaking through, looking for a retest on USD ZAR. Would like it to push through a wee bit more up here. Take that retest around that 20. catalyst, volume coming in to continue on to the upside. Now, again, I know that's contradicting myself, but if dollar strength comes in, it's a good thing to look at. What I will say, daily doesn't look too bad. Weekly doesn't look too bad. I mean, look where we are in this daily as well. You know, you're kind of getting your smaller head and shoulders here from this channel corrective on USD ZAR. So, I mean, dollar basket does include the ZAR in it, obviously. However, risk on, risk off. Would I expect to see this with where markets are? Probably not, but this is why I just focus. I think we talked about this. You're looking USD short 1 hour. Oh, really? I'll look at that. I talked about this with you, Martin, right? Where do these other things have a bias? And I kind of said no, because they don't. They give me maybe a psychological, oh, the markets are pushing, I don't mind buying or selling USD CAD, for example, or buying Aussie yen. But it ultimately, they are not involved in my entry checklist. And this is, at the moment, ticking some boxes for me. So USD ZAR potential longs as a breakout retest is something that I'm going to continue to look at today. 1 hour short, 1707. 1 hour short, 1707. Okay, so you're looking here. Yeah, I see where you're looking. So you're taking this. Deep. Guess that's what you're looking. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah. If it comes back down, it's kind of got to come now, right? I just think the chart's telling me long rather than short at the minute. I mean, you could look there for a potential break as well, right? Slight little stop punt here. Push on. Creating that V reversal. For up. Actually, I don't mind USD ZAR long. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. I mean, as I said, it doesn't really matter, does it? Because if it does go long, again, you can look at breakout retest. If it goes short, then you can look at that breakout movement to the downside. But the downside, you may have these as moving averages as a form of dynamic support, right? So, yeah, let's see. Let's see what happens. USD ZAR, I don't mind. I quite like it, actually. Quite like it. Pound dollar is still in from yesterday. We talked about this yesterday. It's getting there. It's getting there. It's getting there. I don't think it's, you know, from a daily perspective, it's not ready. From a 4 hour, you could say, well, this is my context. I'm not going to take this as initial structure. I'm going to take this here, here, here for a break to the upside. In which case, I wouldn't mind that. You know, I wouldn't mind that. I don't mind where price action is right now. I just worry of taking that too early, i.e. getting a bit of FOMO here to say it looks all right, and you having kind of this scenario where it's not quite ready, you get faked out, you get stopped with retail, and then it continues in that direction. So I think I'm going to wait, albeit I do think it's nice. This is a 4 hour kind of pre-breakout context is really nice. There's no doubt about it. If the higher time frames was a little bit more digested, I would be in that, or I would be taking a potential break. Just think, and I could be wrong, for me, I just need a little bit more and probably wait on that daily on pound dollar. But certainly wouldn't mind a bias long. I mean, who's long pound dollar? Pankage. Buy pound dollar and sell USD CAD, yeah. Don't mind it. Don't mind it. Kiwi dollar is another one still on the list. Kiwi dollar here. Another one similar as pound USD. It's kind of in that we're getting possible price acceptance above here. above that break. Maybe this is a limitation. Maybe some people don't agree with me when I say this, but I just worry about how far is this enough to really produce another result like this. Could do. But again, I've got to take things that I'm really, really comfortable with. Certainly, and again, well, it's irrespective of the position I'm in, because every trade you've got to be comfortable with for a break above. But again, I don't mind that price action. So as a bias, yeah, this could go up. I just worry from a higher time frame perspective that, you know, we get a little bit of break, fake, come down, and then we go. Take out retail and off we pop to the upside. That's what I worry about with those two. Certainly with where dollar is, a little bit precarious, but let's see. CAD yen. CAD yen I do like. All right, CAD yen is another one I do like. I know this is counter trend. Don't mind the idea of selling the yen at this point with where the index is. You've got your context there. Higher time frame perspective from your head and shoulders. Remember, head and shoulders is a trend change pattern. The weekly is not as great. But certainly something there on the daily to possibly get involved. And if we look here, we've not quite got our rising 3, but we do have a kind of quasi pattern. We've got a little bit, the volume signature is not perfect, but it's not a bad little pattern here that could potentially ignite a move to the upside here. So you don't know what the rising 3 is. If it's a bullish rising 3, you usually have an outside or an engulfer. 3 bars in between that are smaller in range, obviously, and then you're looking at an outside bullish engulfer here. Ideally, you get increasing volume, you get lowering volume in the middle, and then you get increasing volume. It's known as an igniting pattern. It's supposed to ignite moves and move to the upside. Now, you do see often you don't get it perfect. You can have a rising 4 with 4 bars, a rising 5. That's okay. But volume is something I obviously really like trading with, but that's the ideal scenario, which we don't have here. So, just important to note. However, as added to context, yeah, don't mind that. So CAD yen, we've got our V reversal. We're coming down and created our second structure here, looking for a bit of accumulation. This is probably a potential if we continue to accumulate. 200 kind of coming down, so our breakout is above that 200. Maybe US session today, possibly a Monday trade. Probably a Monday trade, I would say. A few more bars here to break to the upside on CAD yen. As long as those, you know, again, if those indexes keep pushing, I would be quite comfortable with that call. But we are seeing a few of this in the yens, right? We are seeing a little bit of possible accumulation. You know, are we accumulating? Are the big boys accumulating positions here to move it to the upside? Maybe. So CAD yen potential longs. Euro NZD, another one I'm still looking at. Potential shorts. Want this to come down and tag this area. Here, first structure, second structure, third structure. Want this again. We want to see the areas, our significant areas being tagged multiple times, and certainly on a Dow theory downtrend, i.e. you're making lower lows, so pressure is coming into the area, knocking on the door. The door is getting weaker as we continue to go along before hopefully it breaks to the downside. So higher time frames are good. Well, they're okay. No, actually, higher time frames are good. They are good. You look at it here, you got your kind of pullback, complex corrective, right? But we want to see this move down. We do have that 200 as dynamic support. So again, possibly a trade for next week where we can get that 200 coming up. So our breakout is underneath that, and hopefully a movement like this. So in terms of RTM, which is ready to move, it certainly looks pretty good to me. So a breakdown, as long as we get what we want, then don't mind Euro NZD as well. Morning, Sana. Good to see you. Haven't seen you before. Welcome. Welcome. And, GJ I talked about. So GJ I talked, keep supporting, join me, my. Not sure what you mean, buddy. So GJ, yeah, another one possibly for next week. So, you know, 2 setups there. Counter trend in the yen. And I like them both. I like them both. So in terms of today, USD CAD could look at potentially USD ZAR. Continue to look at on that retest. Pound USD, Kiwi dollar probably for next week. CAD yen the same. Euro NZD the same. GJ the same. So really, I'm looking at these 2 for today. If they don't come, they don't come. It's fine. I'll go and enjoy my weekend. When I'm going through a bit of a drawdown, I always like the weekends. Again, I use it to kind of reset and just take any excuse I can to go and say, right, here we go. We start again on Monday. Positive attitude. As I say all the time, this periods like this will pass. This too shall pass. Don't feel like you're resonating. You don't feel like you can pick a winner. That's what I feel right now. I feel like any trade I take, I'm not going to win it. Or I'll do the same thing as USD CAD and multiple others where they kind of go and then they come back. But it will pass. It will pass. And I've just got to trust. Forget about what's going on in here, because all these things will go on in here, like, oh, am I going to lose my account? Oh, shit, what happens if this? What happens if this? Shit, I've done 10 months. Am I going to, mess it all up? But the statistics and the data of my plan don't care about what's happening in here. As long as I keep taking trades like USD CAD, like USD NOK, which I take every day of the week. I take that trade every day of the week. I same with USD NOK. Times they'll go with you, times they won't go with you. That's trading, that's the game. And just trying to keep smiling. What we're doing is, we love what we do. It's better than working in oil and gas. It's better than sitting in a dingy office. And if it was easy all the time, would it be as fun, right? The bad days make the good ones better. So positive attitude and trade safe on Friday. Is there anything else you guys want me to look at before I head off? But yeah, essentially just kind of taking a step back and saying, do you know what? This thing helps me improve as a trader. Keep a smile on. Life is good. Got your health. Money's not the only thing, right? Isn't that right, Royce? So Royce is down here. He agrees with me. I don't know if you can see him. There he is. Just took him out for a run. All right, guys. If there's no questions, have a lovely weekend. I'll see you all on Monday, and we'll do all over again. Trade safe. Peace.